Hello.
Hey, what's up, Mr. Metokur?
It's going pretty good. How about yourself?
It's weird. You sound exactly like your videos.
Yeah, it's that nice tin can quality of my headset. Gives me that that sound.
No, you've got this voice that I'm going to describe as a compliment as punchable. Like, it's what makes your videos so funny. Just for people who don't know Mr. Metokur. By the way, am I saying that right? Is it Metokur?
Metokur, but
Metokur,
you know, it's meant to be mispronounced. It's a play off mediocre. Somebody got really pissed a long time ago and was trying to come up with an insult and said Metokur rather than mediocre. So that's where that comes from.
All right. You're tough to sum up just because I know so much of your content and think it's so funny, but you make videos, among other things. You make videos like dissecting lunatics on the internet.
Yeah, that would be my approach. There's nothing better than looking at an online community full of people that are just completely batshit insane. It's entertaining.
Like an example, the one I've watched, I don't know, most recently, but one of my favorites was the black supremacists.
Oh, I love that shit. Yeah, the Kemet community and the Black Israelites are some of the most enlightened individuals you'll run into on the streets of New York.
So you actually run into these guys in the wild?
No. God, if I ran into them in the wild, I would sit down and pick their brain for like 5 hours. I mean, they'd call me a white devil.
Yeah.
And tell me go back to the cave that I live in. But that community is just so incredibly insane. And they debate each other too, which is just wild.
I'm gonna play a thing from your We Was Kings video where they're talking about how all of the kings of England are black.
Yeah.
But they're like, yeah, let me see if I can find it. I thought I had a link to this, but I don't know if I do. Oh wait, here we go. Sorry. I'm looking for when they're talking about the kings. There we go. I saved it earlier, but I lost the time cut. Here.
They try to impersonate them by painting over their historical portraits. Where does it end? How many historical figures were actually black?
But I just want to show you something that's very interesting in this book, that the original rulers of England and Britain were black.
That's King George of England. A light-skinned black man.
You clearly see the Vikings as black men.
Yeah.
Do you see that with your glasses? These are black men. Jesus is a black man. They know that in his hometown.
Beethoven.
Black.
Mozart.
Black.
Henry VIII.
Black.
William Shakespeare.
Undoubtedly black.
My God, does it ever end?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know why I find that so funny.
It's fantastic. Yeah, they're convinced that almost every historical figure that's ever existed is actually secretly a black man.
Yeah.
You need to be woke to that fact.
No, I love it. It's like Jerry Springer. You're like the new Jerry Springer. Like you find all this found footage of these dudes and put them together in these videos. What are some of your favorite like little groups that you've managed to expose like this?
I think my favorite is the baby fur community that was on DeviantArt because they went absolutely insane when I did a video about them in ABDL too. Adult baby diaper lovers. They wanted to kill me. I had one guy in a bear suit telling me he was going to hunt me down with his gun. So I don't know if you've ever seen this. And this is big guy too.
Yeah.
So
what
is
this community? What does it consist of?
Baby furs are, so imagine a furry, a guy that wants to dress up like a fox or something, but they want to take it to the next level, right? Yeah. So they want to not just role play as a anthropomorphic animal, but they want to be a baby version of it. So they wear diapers and shit themselves.
And your problem with that is?
My first problem would probably be the smell because, if you're wearing a fursuit, that shit's going to get matted in there so bad that it's going to reek for weeks.
I mean, there's something like I watch all your videos and you also do like the rise and kind of downfall of internet celebrities. Like in
that's something I just got into. It's weird, YouTube's been around for so long now, especially like content creators on the internet. Yeah, that you can actually do like a behind the music kind of VH1.
Yeah,
look back on people's careers as a kind of nosedive into insanity and like drug abuse, alcoholism.
No, and it's similar.
What about the second rise?
Because bands get that.
There's always the resurrection.
You know what I mean?
Because I was just gonna say that like the behind the music ones where bands they all have the same pattern, like the drug use and everything. The content creators, you just had one that was Angry Joe, I think. Yeah, the Angry Joe show. And they all go through this weird transition where they get famous early on YouTube and they start hating their content and then forcing it to be something that it's not, and then hating the fans for reacting poorly to it.
They all seem to despise their audiences. That's like the one common theme, and it's really bizarre, especially these guys that have like 2, 3, 4 million subs, and these people that flock to them almost like religiously to watch their content, and they just hate them. I mean, like Angry Joe's a great example of that, but I think Spoonie One, which is another contributor to the site that Joe worked on, is a better example of that. I mean, this is a guy that was making $5,000 to $8,000 when you add it all up per month, just to talk about video games on the internet.
Yeah,
and
dream.
He just didn't care. He actually stopped producing content, but kept taking the money and did that for a year. To the point where he's like making $500 a month. Nobody watches his videos, and he's posting every day about wanting to basically off himself on Twitter. Well, I don't know what they expect. Like these guys, I think it's almost like the kind of like the new money phenomena. You know, like they get famous and they make all this cash, and it must be amazing, right? Like you're making so much money.
Yeah.
So they think, I'm going to go buy myself a really kick-ass car. I'm going to go get a house. But they're getting all these, like they're financing it in terrible ways. So when the YouTube gravy train ends after 3 or 4 years, they can't pay on any of it, and they're stuck with a mortgage that sinks them, and they're stuck with car payments they can't make, and they end up destitute, living in a bus shelter, not sure what happened.
Just hating anybody that ever paid attention to them.
Absolutely,
it's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing to see. Mr. Metokur's videos like spell it out because he goes through. You remember when we had Josh or Null from Kiwi Farms on?
Yeah, sure.
Something he said about it's not the it's the deliberateness in the way that he goes through the failings of these people, like step by. By the way, are you familiar with Kiwi Farms?
Oh yeah. They have a lot of threads on all sorts of unique, exceptional individuals on the internet.
Very exceptional.
A lot of shit matted in a lot of fur, from what I understand.
Noel wanted me to ask you why they don't get credit for some of your research and your videos.
I actually did have them listed on the. It was not the Terry Davis one. It was one of the ones before that, Nick Bates. But I went through and I redid the descriptions, and it erased the old ones. So like the links are broken. If you watch some of the earlier videos, I bring up like Encyclopedia Dramatica or Kiwi Farms when I'm sourcing stuff. So, it should be in there. I've just got to get off my lazy ass and go reattribute it.
So what, you're like, I don't know how to describe what you do, but I know that like you should watch out on the internet. Like you're going to be, everything that you do is like, see, it could be called bullying. I know you got your Twitter account pulled.
Yeah, Jack was not happy with my tweets and decided to punish me by sending me to the corner, which is Facebook, where all the soccer moms hang out. So that's where I've been relegated.
What happened? Why did you get banned from Twitter?
I'll give you my idea of why that happened. Okay. I put up a video taking a shot in the dark because I was looking at analytics and the way that Twitter accounts work. And I noticed that they were implementing a system that's kind of like, if you ever heard of shadow banning on Reddit?
Yeah. That's when they don't show you that you're banned, but none of your stuff shows up for anybody else.
Right. But the problem with shadow banning is eventually somebody's going to say, why aren't you posting anything? Like you kind of disappeared. Twitter implemented a different system. If you look at their analytics, you can find out who, kind of propels what you want to say. So like if you put up a tweet, you have these power users, right? So let's say you've got like 10,000 people following you.
All right,
you're going to have like maybe 100, 200 power users who are retweeting the stuff that you talk about, and that spreads it even further. So Twitter found a way to cut you off and delay tweets to those particular individuals. They look at the metrics and decide who's really, getting your content or whatever you have to say out there, and they cut you off from that. So everybody else thinks and sees your tweets in real time, but these people that kind of propel what you're saying don't. So I put a video up talking about it. I called it Twitter throttling. 4 days after that, Twitter basically came out and said, yeah, we're pretty much doing that actually. And then about 2 weeks after that, I got banned.
Oh God, I don't know if I just hate this more than other people because I'm on the internet, like Twitter censorship. Sean, do you think it's a big deal at all? Sean's the audio engineer, Mr. Metokur.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like any of that.
You don't like any of it?
No, I don't like any of that. It's hard to tell where the line is at some things, but it's Twitter. They can
close the fucking computer. That's the line.
Right. That's always
just
what I've thought.
Shut the fucking computer down.
Don't look.
So what?
The only thing,
like you have the tool to block somebody and mute them forever.
Oh yeah.
That's
of
it.
course.
That's it. Harassment over.
I'm not on Twitter, so it's I don't even enter into that conversation really. But yeah. But it's ridiculous that, like you said, shut the computer. That's. As far as just banning
the screen.
Well, like I thought it was. I thought it was a stupid problem. I complain about it because it affects me, but I've been banned forever.
Yeah,
I've been banned since I started being on the internet.
Yeah,
because I fucking hate everyone.
Yeah,
I hate everyone, and I want to make it hurt. Yeah, I'm a bad guy. Kick me off. That's why I write. It's supposed to hurt. This is like shut it down. Right. Anyway. It didn't really start bugging me until Patreon started banning people. They banned Laura. They shut down Laura Southern's account last week.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, I guess they've managed to. The CEO. Okay, whatever. I don't want to argue if she was supposed to be banned or not. But the CEO releases this video with an affect and a voice that makes you want to drill through the side of your fucking head. The way this guy presents the company to people, the up voice, talking like a teenage girl, and he goes right in to why she got banned. And he says, God, what is it? Observable
MOB.
Fuck. What is it? I forget
something observable behavior, yeah. Where it's marketing speak.
Method of observable behavior, and I'm like, she got banned because of a fucking mob? Right. Are you kidding me? Like, did you not do this on purpose? Did you not call the reason a mob? Are you so guilty deep down that it manifested in literally M-O-fucking-B, a mob? She got banned for a mob. We're gonna ban everyone with a mob. Like, you can't write this. The Film Actors Guild in South Park is not as too. This is too on the nose. Yeah. A mob. This would have been sent back for a rewrite. You got to make it more clever than this. Yeah. You can't call the reason why we're shutting people down, why we're taking their money from them, a literal mob. You got to give us a longer acronym. Mm-hmm. Not funny because it's too perfect. And I'm watching this video and watching this CEO talk. I think, wait a minute, this guy fucking grew up with this. That's why this is happening. People are like, well, you can't see the line anymore. It's out of your purview. This isn't supposed to be a line that you're worried about. None of this is. You are not the law. Anyway.
Well, yeah, they're taking it a step beyond like deplatforming, right? Like if you look at Twitter with their terms of service and how they treat their user base, they're getting rid of anybody they don't like, whether that's politically or just saying wild shit. Right, they're trying to clean it up. They got rid of a lot of porn accounts. They got rid of a lot of trolls. They got rid of a lot of political pundits, kind of leaning on the right side. And
their stock continues to tank.
Right,
it just goes down and down and down and down. I don't understand what the point of the company is.
If the opposite were true, you would see the line of thinking.
Yeah, if every time they kicked somebody like Mr. Metokur off, the stock went up, I would say, oh, wow. Okay. Can't fault them for that.
They're looking at the numbers and they're making that decision.
Down every time. They just raked in a bunch of cash.
Have you noticed that every time that the stock tanks, Jack buys some up? I'm almost convinced that he's trying to get control of the company again. Yeah, if you watch the numbers, he's been buying up stock as it goes down.
Somebody did that during Trump. I forget what company it was, but the CEO made a bunch of anti-Trump comments, and then he immediately reinvested. Like right before he said them, he sold a bunch of his shares and then made the comments, and then went back in.
Play in that market. Yeah, but they deplatform you, but now they're trying to go after your financial base. So like if you're using Patreon or PayPal or you're using some website that has direct donation, they don't want you just to be silent. They want you to be destitute. And it's getting fucking crazy. Like I remember using the internet when you could say what you wanted, when sites were much more relaxed, but now everybody's so bubble wrapped and it's so bland and it's becoming less fun to use.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And I don't know how to fix it because all these things came in and took over how you access stuff.
Well, we could always ask President Zuckerberg because from what I hear, he's going to be running. So maybe he'll have some imaginative solution to this.
Really? Yeah, he's going to be running until he has to get on TV and talk. And then everybody's asshole is going to shut close and say, why the fuck did we... This guy's got... He couldn't buy a personality to make up for what he's saying on TV. Have you ever heard him talk?
Fuck no. I'm glad I haven't,
like
to be honest with you. Because I've read his manifesto, and it's pretty much insane.
You can steal a personality, like you stole a company.
All right, I want to play this. I want to play this other video of yours called "Sovereign Citizen." This is one of my favorites. Here we go. Yeah, play this.
The blade is there to guard those boundaries.
Here's my license. Why don't you come and get it?
This is called. this is called "Am I Being Detained?" Yeah. This is a how-to series for how to be a sovereign citizen.
Yeah. And know your rights.
It's very important that you know your rights.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that you don't let the police push you around.
Right.
That's right.
Because it goes well when you do that, usually.
You always need to cite naval law because that's what's most important at a traffic stop when you're driving your land boat at 80 miles an hour in a 40.
Naval law?
Yeah, here you go.
Drop the knife. Fuck you.
Sovereign Citizen, presented by d1ck.
Hello and welcome to this educational video presentation on how to become a sovereign citizen. It is our hope that at the end of this, you will have all the information necessary to live as a free man. Now wait a minute, I hear you asking. What is a sovereign citizen? Well, simply looking at the etymology of the word gives you a better idea of what it is. Basically, it's living the life that Jesus and George Washington wanted you to live. And by paying close attention as we go step by step, you're going to understand how to exercise your rights, recognize your rights, and deal with law enforcement on the scene. Did you know that most people are unfamiliar with the fact that police officers are child-hating baby rapists? It's true. Would you take a ticket from a baby rapist? I certainly wouldn't. And after this video, you won't either. So enough with the introductions. Let's get into the video.
Section 1, the police, it says.
Am I being detained? What's that? Am I being detained? Am I being detained? Are you educated? Am I being detained? Am I being detained? Am I being detained? Am I being detained?
These 4 simple words are all you need to remember when you encounter a police officer. They act as a constitutional ward against being
They're just
arrested.
The nuttiest
In
group
fact,
of people.
when a police officer hears you say, "Am I being detained?" they are legally obligated to leave you alone, no matter what the circumstance. However, occasionally you're going to run into a police officer that does not follow the color of the law.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but there's no law that states I need a driver's license to drive a vehicle.
Okay. Yeah, those guys are fucking nuts.
The best part of it's the financial angle. I covered that in like the second video, but they're convinced you can pay any debt you have because the government takes out personalized loans on your life, and they think that's what your birth certificate is. So if you just write down your like social security number and your birth certificate number and send it to the power company, you never have to pay your electricity again.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I thought, like, I didn't know the people you were talking about in these videos, but I swear I started watching them, and it's so interesting to see how sick they are and to see it spelled out so deliberately.
I love stuff like that. I love watching people just do insane shit and then act like it's completely normal. That's the best part, I think, is when they're completely convinced that what they're doing isn't insane.
Yeah. And before the internet, I don't know how we would have seen these people.
Oh, you never would have. It would have been on something maybe like America's Funniest Home Videos, I guess. I don't know where you would have seen it.
Okay, let me see. Let me go. Let me get a bunch of people sending some questions I want to ask you about. Panic Hippie, tits, ass, or feet?
I'm a tits man. I love a nice pair of like big breasts. That's the thing I dig the most.
Good. Asses are for guys. You're degenerate. So what are you doing, DJ Audit the Fed? We get a lot of auditing the Fed commenters here. What are you doing now for income, he says? What does he do for a main source of income? Haven't heard an answer to it. You're on Patreon now?
Yeah. What's that?
Now?
I'm using the Patreon right now, yeah. I ended up getting sick. That's why I opened up the Patreon. Otherwise, I would have just stuck to doing videos for the hell of it. Just kind of, I guess, waiting it out till I can return to the land of the normal and not have to rely on internet income.
Here's one, the Ollie Boy. How do you stare into the autism void without it staring uncomfortably long into you? How do you keep yourself from becoming part of it?
You become desensitized to it. Like,
That's the problem.
When you first encounter this stuff, you're like, holy shit, people really dress up like adult babies and crap themselves. Like that's wild. But after a while, it becomes so ordinary to you. You don't even flinch when you encounter it. It's really bizarre, to be honest.
Yeah. But they're still, nobody's got a problem with them.
No.
Nobody's got a problem with the gross, like, obscene stuff. It's just a guy, calling out, it's Charlemagne.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah, what was that? You recently made a video about Charlemagne the God.
Yeah, so Charlemagne the God is going to be hosting this new MTV show where they expose trolls through catfishing, which basically means MTV is going to hire Craigslist actors to play pretend for him.
Yeah.
But, I tweeted him and I mocked the fact that he was hosting the show because he's supposed to be known as like the shock jock. This guy likes to say, outrageous stuff. And yet he's hosting a show basically about people crying on the internet. Yeah. So I called him a little white girl. And he got really angry. So he said, I'm liking your tweet. I'm going to hold on to it and I'm going to track you down for the show. So I made a video mocking him even more because he's never going to do shit.
I mean, I don't know, man. What happened? How old are you?
I'm in my 30s.
You're in your 30s, so we're about the same age. What the fuck happened to the internet? Like, what happened to us that we're confronting people's tweets?
Everybody's become a giant pussy.
That's it.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
They're all super sensitive for no reason. Think about that. A major network is going to host a television show about people crying over tweets. Like, what the fuck? The internet has just become a joke. Everybody's so hypersensitive about everything. Nobody has a thick skin. It's that entrance barrier when you used to have to be somewhat, tech inclined to get on the internet. That's gone now. Everybody's got access to the internet through their phone or the computer, their laptop or their tablet.
Yeah.
So you've got all these people flooding it, and it's full of nothing but 13-year-old girls and vloggers and shit, and it's changed the.
But it's more than that because full-grown men act like teenage girls. Like I have this big feud with Maddox, right, where we split up, and it was very rancorous, and there's all these like the guy made a video accusing me of maintaining a fucking rape list. Like, this is the low. Oh, if you didn't know about this, Maddox, the fucking writer, was so pissed off that I hooked up with his ex-girlfriend at a wedding that he made a video taking an out-of-context thing I said on our old podcast and said I was a fucking rape apologist because of it. Like, something that doesn't even exist. And it released it to the LA comedy scene. Everybody lost their fucking minds. But this is the currency of such a big part of the internet. Like this weird, where everybody online is now, the old saying that there's no girls on the internet, it's because every single adult man is now acting at all times like a 13-year-old girl.
True.
Yeah, it's the oppression Olympics. Everybody wants to compete for the gold. Who can be the most victimized and the most hurt by ridiculous shit? And you've got a lot of like beta orbiters, like these guys that can't compete in the dating scene, right? And they figure the easiest way to get pussy is to act like a pussy. So they flock to these women, like these online feminists or SJWs, the like hypersensitive people, and just spout the same shit they hear, all in hopes that they'll impress Milady enough to get a date with her.
It's like a weird short circuit because you sit them down and you think there's no fucking way you think this woman's gonna bang you, right? Like, why in your brain? It's like a casino for pussy. Like the casino tricks you into thinking that you're having a good time and plays pleasant sounds, but you're not getting any enjoyment out of it.
Worse odds than roulette. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to get laid, but that's the majority of them. I think that's what the draw is. That's what the pull is. I had a similar situation with somebody that I used to know, who used to be just like me. We like making fun of shit on the internet. We like laughing at absurd things. And then one day, this individual got trolls remorse and felt bad about it and became like the craziest, most out there person you could imagine. Like every cause that's the new trendy thing they were adopting. Yeah. This rights, that rights didn't matter. Rainbow bracelets everywhere and talking about the patriarchy, and they went completely insane. And it's so weird because I remember, we used to hang out, we used to laugh at the same shit. And now like they're completely 180 of that. They're so far off on the other side that we can't even talk anymore. And like we can't even have a conversation.
What happened to cause that?
I don't know. I honest to God, I don't know. It was like night and day, just one day. They started using Tumblr. I'd love to pin it on Tumblr as like being exposed to that shit maybe fucked with their head, but it just one day all of a sudden.
It's like our parents said, you're like, oh, you can't run with the wrong crowd because then you'll fall into crime. Right? As a kid, like that's the meme, you know, like, oh, you got to stay away from those bad kids.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get you into drugs. But now it's like, you do not get on Tumblr. Not even once. Don't even start one. Don't read it. If your friends got it, just block it. Tumblr is blocked in this house because it's going to turn you into a pussy.
Pretty much, yeah. It's really bizarre. But yeah, he went from being able to laugh at anything and make all, sorts of jokes to, oh, we can't say that. That's a protected group. We can't make that joke. That might upset them. You need to look at your privilege.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what happened to you? You used to be funny. You used to be fun to hang out with. And now I can't stand you. I just can't stand it. And they did something similar. They talked about how I was their Frankenstein creation, that they played a part in making me this mean individual that would laugh at people that put on fursuits and shit themselves. Like that's some bad thing.
Yeah, they deserve it. That's funny. They're putting it out there.
Maybe your friend underwent chemical castration without his knowledge.
I don't know. Maybe he.
Now he's packing
maybe
a couple of raisins below.
Started taking hormones. I have no clue what the fuck happened. Some estrogen, maybe.
Yeah.
Aiden Paladin, for some reason, wants me to ask how many bananas you could reasonably fit up your ass.
I would love to go. I would love to go for TJ Kirk's record. The Amazing Atheist, I think, currently is the world record holder in the amount of bananas you can shove up your ass. Okay. But I don't think I'm ever going to beat that record.
What's his record?
That man is incredible.
What's his record?
His record is, have you ever seen The Amazing Atheist? He's a big guy. He's got a lot of room up there to shove a lot of fucking bananas up his butt.
Yeah, but he actually did this?
Yeah, well, he's a showman. Not only does he like to shove bananas up his ass, he likes to pour hot oil all over his genitals and then upload that on the internet. So that's a really great piece of art for anybody interested.
Were these bananas peeled or unpeeled?
I think he likes to live dangerously, and he left them unpeeled.
Wow.
That is dangerous.
What's the number?
Yeah, what's the number?
I think he fit a good 2 or 3 up there.
2 to 3.
Continuous, like a conga line. So I mean,
I
that's
don't know
like
if this is I don't know if this is a bit or not.
Yeah, really?
No, this isn't a bit. The Amazing Atheist shoved bananas up his ass and then doused his genitals in boiling hot oil as a sex tape to a woman that he was interested in, who then promptly uploaded it to the internet for everyone to see, and it's been funny as hell to watch ever since for the last 6 years.
What percentage of people are fucked, do you think? I mean, that's pretty fucked, but nobody would know.
That's the thing. Like, and here's the thing. Maybe it's my age and the people in my age group, but like especially younger people today don't have a concept of how terrible it is to put shit on the internet. Like, I could not imagine being a teenager right now because that shit will haunt you for the rest of your life. It seems like people are completely fine doing outrageously stupid shit and thinking it will never come back to them. So you get all these weird sex tapes and you get all these weird posts and you get people in these communities and they use all this personal identifying information. They put up pictures of themselves doing really ridiculous shit. And then they're shocked when people laugh at it and say, holy crap, what the hell's the matter with you? It's just like kids these days don't have any common sense. As the amount of like how many of them are fucked, a lot of them. And that's the craziest thing because they're all just kind of letting loose and putting it out there.
Yeah, it's like you can't drink or drive a car or vote, but you could go online and do way more damage with your real name. Although I don't know if everyone is even going to care about that shit in 20 years.
Well, yeah, by then everybody's going to have so much embarrassing shit of their own that nobody's going to mention it. Everybody's going to have to be nice because, the crap that you know about me, I know about you.
Yeah. Let me see. That was one of your internet tips. Never have a username for a porn site.
Yeah, never attach your name to a porn site. You're asking for trouble 3 or 4 years later when they look up your history.
Let me see if I got any other questions. Well, what makes you a rage? By the way.
What makes me rage?
Maybe I should have asked you that first. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, it kind of ties into what we've been talking about. I don't like how hypersensitive people have become, and I don't like the notion that websites, especially like Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, think that they need to moderate content for you. Like you're not adult enough to decide for yourself what offends you or what you don't want to watch. So they need to get rid of it preemptively to protect you. Like, people are adult enough, if they're using the computer, if they've paid their internet bill, to be able to not look at something. But all these websites want to adjust their terms of service and their user agreements to make it like this just bland shithouse of fake niceness for one another. And they get rid of anything that's funny or outrageous or on the edge because they want to, this cookie cutter image of what the internet should be. And I can't stand that. I think it's ruining what makes the internet entertaining and what makes it a draw.
It's gentrifying the whole internet.
Yeah, it is. It's pussifying everything is what it's doing. And it's going to have consequences later on. Like, if you can't handle banter online, how are you going to deal with people in real life when they start talking shit to you?
Well, they're going to take banter away in real life. Like, the fucked thing about this, about Patreon and Laura Southern, was how many people say to me, well, what do you expect them to do?
Right.
I'm like, well, nothing. Like, I don't, just like with Facebook and Twitter, I expect them to do the same thing that LG does. If I'm like being an asshole in my house, LG doesn't send out the moderation squad to take my fucking television. Like, Dick Masterson is being an asshole in his house. We don't support that. Right. We're going to take his TV away. Right. So he can't use his influence to support programs that have in some way influenced him to be a piece of shit. Like, Apple, if I'm screaming at my sister about electric dog collars on the phone, Apple doesn't dispatch a squad to come take my fucking phone away. And then I go on what? I just go out in the street and scream? Don't I? Oh, it was in the terms of service, though, Dick. When you bought the phone, you actually leased it, and you signed a thing that said if you behave inappropriately, if you drop any N-bombs on your phone, we could take it away at any time. It's only a 3-day suspension, though. If you pray to Steve Jobs, you can get it back. And I'm like, what? There was a time when I owned that phone. There was a time when I owned the comment on Facebook. It was mine. It's the same fucking thing. It's the same thing conceptually. It doesn't matter where it is. It's my... You can't take this. This is my thing.
It's gotten insane with... It's just, it's too much. Like, you can let a user decide what they can handle and what they can't handle. You're pussifying everything. And you're right. They don't, I couldn't imagine a society where they're taking away your phone for saying,
I can.
It's coming.
I fucking can. I'm driving my Tesla to go buy drugs. You're driving to a drug area. We're not taking your car away, but we are shutting your self-driving car down so that you can't drive there.
That's coming. That's coming. And people will be fine with that. People will fucking love that. They want that boot on their neck, whether it's government, corporation, whatever. There's a whole fucking segment of our population that must be ruled. They fucking live for it. Really.
I agree with that. Yeah, there's a passive amount of people that want that kind of Orwellian dystopia.
Yeah, they love it.
Because they feel comfortable with it.
Right. Big mama, big daddy, big brother.
I don't know, but I think we fucked up somewhere by giving them Twitter and Facebook and everything. And now we got nothing.
Oh, the only way around it is competition. Like, I don't understand Patreon's stance, right? If you're a business, you want to make money. Right, that's the goal of every business.
Yeah.
So by taking away people that are bringing money into your site, you're hurting your bottom line. I'd rather a company be amoral and act like a company and be like, unless you're doing something completely illegal, unless you're putting up like kiddie porn or offering assassinations for hire, we don't care what you do.
And that's illegal. The cops are going to come.
There are laws for that.
Yeah, hey,
right.
Here's a court order that says you have to shut this thing down. Oh, that's easy. I have to do things that the court tells me to do.
Instead of arbitrarily legislating morality.
Yeah, instead of, the court might not say it, but, lawyers are expensive, blah-blah-blue. We're just going to nip this one in the bud.
Right, and that's where competition needs to step in. I mean, if Patreon's going to take that approach where they're going to try to do like a moral authority on what can and can't be supported financially.
Yeah.
Somebody can come in and do the exact same thing Patreon does, but just without that approach and be more successful because everybody's going to use the site that isn't up their ass about what they post.
Well, Hatreon.us is doing that. And you should get on there. Cody Wilson, the Ghost Gunner guy, is doing that. He set me up last week.
Wish him success. Anything that's going to compete with that kind of crap is going to be good for everybody.
All right, man. What videos you got coming up?
I'm continuing on with that that deviance thing where it's looking at insane communities that exist on DeviantArt. So Five Nights at Freddy's, you'd be surprised, produces an obscene amount of really screwed up porn on DeviantArt that goes well beyond baby fur.
Well beyond baby fur?
Well beyond baby fur, which is hard to imagine. But again, once you've done this for so long, it becomes so ordinary that you really need something special to make you go, holy shit.
Like, what do they do?
Yeah, that. And then I'm actually going to be finishing up the Sovereign Citizens thing. And the final episode of that is like the reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like these guys go out. I mean, it's funny to laugh at, but these guys go out and they kill cops. Like there are a lot of standoffs where these guys are like, you can't detain me, you can't arrest me, and they're shooting cops and they're shooting up squad cars.
They are?
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There have been a lot of cop killings, and when I did these videos, I had a lot of cops contact me, sheriffs and everything else, and say like, we can't stand these people. Like they're the most dangerous. You wouldn't think it, but we have to get special training on how to handle them because they can be so dangerous in the field. So that's kind of how I wanted to cap it off. So I'm gonna re-upload the first part that got pulled down because some sovereign citizen got really ass blasted that I was making fun of his being detained thing, and then put up the third part.
You ever worried that a guy in a bear suit and a diaper is going to come to your house and kick your ass?
I mean, I live up in kind of wilderness, so if some guy's walking around in a bear suit, he's going to get poached by a hunter. So I'm feeling pretty fucking confident nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, all right, that's good. Everybody wants to see you do a Maddox video if you're looking for downfalls. I think that guy could fall a little further though before you do a video like that.
I don't know. Somebody brought up because you both have Patreon accounts.
We do,
and they brought up the Patreon, and somebody was like, Jim, you have to go take a look at the difference. And I thought, okay, let's go see what the numbers are. Now your Patreon's sitting at 21,000. That's really fucking impressive. You got a big audience that supports you. I went to look at Maddox's, $271.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that has gotta fucking sting.
I will say that none of those are his parents because they hate him.
Not a single one of those 67
on the good side, none of that money's coming from his mom because she fucking hates him. So at least we know that.
Yeah, he reminds me of the guy I was talking about earlier. It's kind of like a similar situation. Like it's just weird, isn't it? Like one day, man, they take a 180 and they're completely off in a different direction, and you have no idea why.
Man, it's the internet. It really fucks with people's minds. They should teach classes on it. It's more important than algebra, keeping your brain preserved from being
going insane.
Yeah, from being like protected from insanity all day, every day. I'm like the worst of people.
Yeah, definitely. It has a weird debilitating effect on people once you get exposed to it. A little bit of Tumblr and he was off to the races. Who knows? Maybe Maddox was browsing Tumblr more than he should have been.
I think he was plowing Tumblr. Is what happened. That's my guess. Because the internet is just a chick light. You get a chick in there with some funny ideas, and I mean, I don't know. Not everybody can stand up to that.
True.
Bent a knee to the pussy, did he?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what happened.
Sad individual.
It is sad. Let me see if I got anything else. You got anything you want to plug?
No. I just regular videos coming out like they usually do. I don't really plug myself. I mean, people are interested. They're going to come find it. It's hard to get people. It's hard to say, hey, come watch my video again on people shitting themselves because they're like, why would I ever do that?
Yeah, I don't think
if you're looking for it, you're going to stumble across it. It's out there.
Yeah. Okay, man. Thanks for calling in. You got anything that makes you rage? Calling again.
Yeah.